So the blonde was taking helicopter lessons. The instructor said, I too radio you every 1,000 feet to see how you're doing.
Okay.
At 1,000 feet, the instructor radioed her and said she was doing great.
Oh.
At 2,000 feet, he said she was still doing well.
Oh.
Right before she got to 3,000 feet, the propeller stopped, and she twirled to the ground.
Oh.
The instructor ran to where she crash landed and pulled her out of the helicopter, and said, what went wrong? The blonde said, well, at 2,500 feet, I started to get cold, so I turned the big fan off.
No. Yeah, Miss Blonde, do not turn that big fan off. Yeah, okay.
So the wealthy man had an affair with an Italian woman for several years.
Oh!
One night, she told him that she was pregnant, worried about his reputation. The man said he would pay a large sum if the woman went to Italy and had the child in secret. If she raised the child in Italy, he would also pay child support until the child turned 18. The woman agreed. She asked, but how will I let you know when the baby is born?
True.
He said, we'll keep it discreet. Mail me a postcard and write spaghetti on the back. Then I'll organize the payments.
Okay.
Months later, the man came home from work to find his wife in the kitchen. She said, there's a postcard on the table for you. The man rushed to get the postcard. After reading it, he turned white and collapsed. His wife picked up the postcard to see what had given her husband such a fright. The card read, spaghetti, spaghetti, spaghetti. 2 with meatballs, 1 without. Request bread. I asked my dad what a dark humor joke is. He told me, see that man with no hands? Ask him to clap. I said to him, Dad, you know I'm blind. There was a man walks into a confessional booth and says, Father, forgive me for I have sinned. The priest asked, what is your sin, my child? The man replied, 3 days ago my mother-in-law was helping me move some stuff around and it started to rain, so she stayed the night. We slept together. The priest said, give 3 Hail Marys for this. The man replied, Father, forgive me for I have sinned. The priest asked again, what is your sin, my child? The man said, 2 days ago I was helping my sister-in-law move and it started to rain, so I stayed the night. We slept together.
Oh.
The priest said, give 6 Hail Marys, my child. The man said, Father, forgive me for I have sinned. The priest, what is your sin this time, my child? The man said, well, yesterday my brother-in-law was helping me unpack some stuff and it started to rain, so he stayed the night. We slept together. At this, the priest stands up and looks out the window. The priest shouted, it's starting to get cloudy. Get out of here before it starts raining. That straw is so big. It's good to know you can handle big things like that, Melly, hee hee. A woman goes to her boyfriend's parents' house. This is her first time meeting the family and she is very nervous. They all sit down and begin eating a fine meal. The woman started to feel a little discomfort thanks to her nervousness and the broccoli casserole. The gas pains are almost making her eyes water. She decides to let out a dainty fart. Everyone heard the boof. Before she even had a chance to be embarrassed, her boyfriend's father looked over at the dog that had been snoozing at the woman's feet and said in a rather stern voice, Skippy. The woman thought, great, and she smiled. A couple of minutes later, she was beginning to feel the pain again.
Damn.
This time she let a louder and longer fart. The father again looked at the dog and yelled, damn it, Skippy. A few minutes later, the woman had to let another one. This time she didn't even think about it. The father looked at the dog with disgust and yelled, damn it, Skippy, get away before she shits on you.
Well, I guess you could say that's a shitty situation.
Once upon a time there was a thief and a politician who were friends. One day they entered a chocolate store. While they were busy looking around, the thief stole 3 chocolate bars. As they left the store, the thief said to the politician, man, I'm the best thief ever. I stole 3 chocolates and no one saw me. You can't beat that. The politician replied, you wanna see something better? Let's go back to the shop and I'll show you real stealing. So they went to the counter and politician said to the shopkeeper, hey, do you wanna see magic? The shopkeeper replied, sure. The politician says, give me 1 chocolate bar. The shopkeeper gave him 1, and he ate it. He asked for a second, and he ate that as well. He asked a third, and finished that one too. The shopkeeper asked, but where's the magic? The politician replied, check in my friend's pocket, and you'll find it. The doctor told me that I can play with myself whenever I like.
What?
My wife told me that's not what having a stroke means.
So, no, yeah.
So the woman takes her 15-year-old daughter to the doctor. The doctor says, okay, Mrs. Jones, what's the problem? The mother says, it's my daughter Mandy. She keeps getting these cravings. She's putting on weight and is sick most mornings.
Pregnant?
The doctor gives Mandy a good examination, then turns to the mother and says, well, I don't know how to tell you this, but your Mandy is pregnant, about 4 months, would be my guess. So here the mother shouted, pregnant? She can't be. She has never ever been left alone with a man. Have you, Mandy? Mandy says, no mother, I've never even kissed a man. The doctor walked over to the window and just stares out it. About 5 minutes pass and finally the mother says, is there something wrong out there, doctor? The doctor replies, no, not really. It's just that the last time anything like this happened, a star appeared in the east and 3 wise men came over the hill. I too be darned if I'm going to miss it this time. Melly.
Yes?
Did you hear the joke about the plane?
No?
Never mind, it'd probably go right over your head.
What? Tell me the joke. Wait. No. I wanna know.
So here the man walks into a bar, and orders 3 beers every single Friday night. And drinks a sip from each one consecutively until they're finished. One
Damn.
time the barman goes to him and said, can you tell me why do you always order 3 beers? The man explains, oh, me and my 2 brothers used to have beer at exactly the same time together every week, and then they both moved away to different places. Now at the same time every Friday night we all sit at a bar in our different places, and order 3 beers and drink them the way you see me doing here. The barman understands, and the man continues coming as normal until one night, the man only orders 2 beers. The barman goes to him and says, I'm so sorry for your loss. The man replied, oh no, no one died, just my mum told me to quit drinking. The rancher drove over to his neighbor's house and knocked on the door. A boy, about 10 years old, opened the door. Is your mom or dad home? The rancher asked. No, they went into town, the boy replied. Well, how about your brother Howard? No, he went with mom and dad, the boy said. The rancher stood there for a minute, shifting from one foot to another and mumbling when the boy says, I know where the tools are if you need to borrow one, or I could give my dad a message for you.
Where is this going?
Well, the man said uncomfortably, I wanted to talk to your dad about your brother Howard getting my sister pregnant. The boy thought for a moment, then said, you'll have to talk to my dad about that. I know he charges $500 for the bulls and $150 for the pigs, but I have no idea how much he charges for Howard. A woman was flying from Melbourne to Brisbane, so unexpectedly the plane was diverted to Sydney.
Whoa.
The flight attendant explained that there would be a delay, and if the passengers wanted to get off the aircraft the plane would reboard in 50 minutes. Everybody got off the plane except the blind lady.
Aww.
A man had noticed her as he walked by and could tell the lady was blind because her seeing eye dog lay quietly underneath the seats.
Aww.
He could also tell she had flown this very flight before because the pilot approached her and calling her hello, by name Kathy. We are in Sydney for almost an hour. Would you like to get off and stretch your legs? The blind lady replied, no thanks, but maybe Max would like to stretch his legs.
Aww.
All the people in the gate area came to a complete standstill when they looked up and saw the pilot walk off the plane with a seeing eye dog. The pilot was even wearing sunglasses. People scattered. They not only tried to change planes, but they were trying to change airlines.
No! Oh, come on!
Little Johnny is sitting in class behind a girl named April. The teacher asked who created the universe. Little Johnny poked April with his pencil and April yelled, my God. The teacher replied with, yes, God did create the universe. Then the teacher asked another question. Where do you go when you live a good life after you die? Little Johnny pokes April with his pencil again and April yells heaven to Betsy. The teacher replied with, yes, you go to heaven. Then the teacher asked what did Eve said to Adam after their 77th child. Little Johnny poked April again and April yelled, if you stick that thing into me again, I'm gonna lose it. The teacher looked at April then fainted. The man had to attend a large convention in Chicago. For this particular trip, he decided to bring his wife. When they arrived at their hotel and were shown to their room, the man said, you rest here while I register, I'll be back within an hour. So, his wife flies down on the bed and just then, an elevated train passes by very close to the window and shakes the room so hard she's thrown out of the bed.
What the?
Thinking this must be a freak occurrence, she lies down once more. Again a train shakes the room so violently, she's pitched to the floor. Exasperated, she calls the front desk, asks for the manager. The manager says he'll be right up. The manager, naturally, is skeptical, but the wife insists the story is true. Look, lie here on the bed, you'll be thrown right to the floor.
Oh, yeah?
So he lies down next to the wife. Just then the husband walks in, saw the manager and shouted, what are you doing here? The manager replies, would you believe I'm waiting for a train?